A bloody g'day to all the cobbers out there. Welcome in. This is Midweek Point and Click. We're on episode 5 of Lamplight City. Hope you're having a fantastic morning or evening. Steve, how you doing?
Oh my god. How's it? I'm going okay.
Good, good. Anything of note that happened this week? Something that you are proud to share?
Uh, Not really. I don't feel know anything because I was saying that. Um, Dinner. Yesterday, boss took me out for drinks again. So
Oh, whining and dining you.
last night I was a bit under the weather, but like, cause it's midday, it's all one off now. But because I didn't keep drinking,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a little bit under the weather for the rest of the day, and after getting back,
Nice,
but I'm
man.
okay now.
That's good. Oh, man, I don't know what a hangover would do to me these days. Probably kill me. But
Yeah, it's like not a hangover. Like at least it's not a hangover. It's like not that bad, but it's just like kind of out of it. It's
yeah,
because I guess it's like
bit seedy.
partly like there's no headache, there's no nausea or feeling shitty. It's just like sort of feeling tired but can't sleep. Sort of just sort of out of it a bit. At
Well,
least when I got back, I had that really frustrating thing where it's like I needed to sleep but couldn't sleep. Like
they
yeah,
do say that alcohol is a depressant, so that's probably what you're feeling, that depressant aspect of the vice, if you will. Let's see. Psycho says, my boss saw me in person at the end of last week and admitted that he didn't recognize you. Oh. Were you wearing a phony mustache and nose? I hope you were. For me, what happened to me this week? I technically got a promotion and a pay rise, which was really good.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was meant to be announced on Friday, but because of American time, which would be Friday would be today, they're going to announce it on Saturday. So yeah.
Um, I
You,
guess
you,
I finished Kingdom Come too. I
mm,
think since last time. I think.
yeah, that's cool. Did it ended well? Was it a good bang for your buck, that game, worth every penny?
Yeah, the ending was fantastic. Like I was shocked at how
Nice.
good the ending is. The credit sequence even has two of the like Marvel like little interstitials. That was like really both of them really good.
Yep.
But yeah, it's concluded really well.
Nice.
I'm assuming because the real life events, I don't know much about them enough to know for sure, but I'm assuming real life events wind down. So they had a choice of either going fictional or winding down their story as well, and it seemed to do that. So it seemed to conclude. Um, but
Awesome.
yeah, that's pretty good.
I wonder what they'll do next. Maybe if they do a number 3, they'll have a new character or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They'd have to just pick another time in history
Mm-hmm.
or another place. There's two things that maybe didn't wrap up, but not enough for a full game after it.
Gotcha.
Or
Yeah,
maybe they have an idea for something, but then they seem to wrap up in such a way that they seem to be not planning for something next with the same character.
that's cool. That's really good. I'm almost well, I thought I was nearly finished with Prince of Persia, but the stat screen on PS5 says I'm 60% through, which is crazy because I feel like I've played 15 hours of it probably,
Okay,
which is definitely good bang for the buck.
that's the side-scrolling Metroidvania one.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool. Um I would say if you get a chance to get it, anything under $40 is well worth it. Um
Yep.
Yeah, another. I tried a demo last night. I pinged you about it because I went in going blind just because I saw a demo. I don't really download Steam demos for the most part, but I saw this and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting, and I got it. And it's like a zombie sort of game, but it's like a side scroller zombie thing where you actually go out during the day and gather resources and go home and build your base and stuff like that. It was really
Alright, so it's
fascinating.
like I am. Oh, I don't know about the movie. I've never seen the movie. I should, but
Mm.
the book I Am Legend has that concept.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. You get to choose your characters at the start. Like it's a set of two. So there's like one was a guy and his partner, and then another one was a guy and a sort of a young girl. The full version of the game has more that you can select, but they have different stats and things like that too. And I don't know, it was just really cool. It's It's worth checking out. Just at least the demo. See what you think. It's good. All right. Well, I reckon it's my turn for the recap, and thankfully, I had some shower thoughts this morning to go through, and I think I've got it all. So, oh,
Okay.
the first thing that the episode started off with is because we solved the last case, we went out for a bit of a bender and we got so drunk that we ended up pissing in our wife's flowers, and she was not impressed. We were in the doghouse.
Yeah.
And then we were told by Cupton that she could no longer meet us in the coffee house anymore. And so she wanted, like, if to get police jobs that we can investigate, we actually have to go into the cop shop and speak to her directly. We've been given a spontaneous human combustion case where we have found a lady that was actually writing either a thesis or something about spontaneous human combustion, and we saw a hand and two legs burnt, and her body was burnt to a crisp on her bed. But that was before we had a cop that thinks that we're a cop killer. Technically, we are. We killed a cop, but he didn't want anything to do with us, and didn't want us on the case. So we had to use a ruse by giving him a better case to look after. When we did that, he went and to that job, and then we went and spoke to the junior police detective, and he seems to be okay with us. So he let us have a quick peek, and I believe that's exactly where we left off. Let me click into the game anyway. Oh, there we go. Move this out of the way. Here we go. Flamin' Galar, sounds about right. Oh yeah, we spoke to the short little man, who I believe Alan Brentwell was the sort of journalistic boss. He's like the J.K. Simmons of the Daily Bugle.
Bye.
Do we have any notes in our case book? Okay, investigate the Gaston Supper Club. Speak with the attorney Jonas Usher. Find a suitable container to transport the ashes. That's right, yeah. Find out about spontaneous human combustion at the Spectre Society. That's right. So we have... This room always gives me the willies. Like, the filing cabinet is like so tall. Let's walk over to it. It's like those... Have you ever been to those like amusement parks where the room is like small on one side and big on the other, and it makes it look like...
Yeah. Like when they build Ned Finder's... Oh, yeah, build Ned Finder's house, or that... Is that scene in Willy Wonka's like that?
Maybe,
I think memories, but I'm not completely sure.
The Ned Flanders one is very good, actually.
Yeah, because that one goes to like eye hole at the end.
Yeah. And he goes absolutely nuts. He's like, "Oh, Lisa Simpson, goody two shoes," or whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, my family can't live on good intentions, Marge. That's the one I've heard referenced mostly.
It's so good. Psycho would be well versed in that episode, I'm sure. All right, let's go to the Spectre Society.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Isn't that where he goes? He's like, "Hidely doodly 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 doodly," and he just goes like, he just breaks his doodlies break, and then that's where he just
because then they take him to the mental hospital. And he used to be a patient there, and the psychologist, I think it's either the psychologist that treated him first, or he's reading a report where it's like, oh yeah, the because he was swearing constantly, they got him to replace swearing with the okludugly, and
yeah.
It's like this revelation of like, oh, every time he says that, it's like a swear word.
Because his dad was a painter or something like that, like a weird artiste, and didn't give him the time of day or something like that.
Mm.
Oh man, it's been a long time. That's right. It is. It's all hell diddly ding dong crap. Yeah, that's it. A beat poet. Oh, is that like that woman? That kind of thing? She was a thief. You gotta believe. Oh no. It's like that sort of scat stuff. Like, I don't know if anyone's seen it, other than I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but the Kim Cattrall scat. Whoo! You got to have your cringe senses set. You've never seen it?
I haven't seen that. Is that her doing it legitimately?
Yes, legitimately with her partner.
I don't know if I want to see it, because I legitimately like Kim Cattrall. I don't want to necessarily have like a blemish of like that.
Oh man, it's something. Let me tell you. Fullback Steve. All right, let's speak to Angela.
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Certainly, darling.
Speaking of Angela, Pulp did a song called Angela, but they released a new song the other day called Spike Island. It's really cool. I've already charted it for Rocksmith.
Are you familiar with a woman named Desiree Lathan?
Yes, she came to see me just last week. She told me she was doing research for an article she was writing for Brentwell magazine.
What sort of research?
She asked me a few questions and looked at my books. That was all. She wasn't here for very long.
And what was she researching?
Something about spontaneous human combustion, I believe.
Yeah, Lisa has heard. She actually brought it to my attention. She's like, oh, it was like 11 at night. And she goes, oh, there's a new Pulp song. And I'm like, oh, send it to me. I'll chart it. I did. It's good. It's actually a really, really cool one.
Did you know that Desiree Lathan is dead?
What? My God, no. I didn't. What happened to her?
You never guess what
She
happened
was
to her.
found burned to death in her bed.
How awful.
Do you have any idea how this may have happened?
There are a number of possibilities. But if she was in the middle of researching spontaneous human combustion, and then to have this happen, it can't be a coincidence.
Are you suggesting she herself was a victim of spontaneous combustion?
One need only compare the circumstances of her death with the facts, darling.
She can't be serious, can she?
What if she's the one that, like, to give credit to the supernatural, she's the one that's going and doing it?
What can you tell me about spontaneous human combustion?
I'm not overly familiar with the subject, but I do have a book about it on the shelf back there. You are welcome to look at it if it will help.
Ooh.
I may, but I'd like to know what your understanding of it is.
Well, I believe it is when the human body inexplicably catches fire and burns. It usually occurs among elderly women who drink to excess, and very little fire damage is caused around the body. That's really all I know, darling. It's not a very agreeable subject for study now, is it?
Thank you for the information. It was very enlightening.
It was my pleasure, darling.
Okay, let's go check the books. Psycho, I bought a shirt for Lisa. It was like an oversized sort of shirt she'll wear with dance, and it's just Jarvis Cocker's face, like all blown up. It's crazy. Giant squid? No.
Is that who Jarvis is named after?
Yeah.
Okay.
Astral projection, metaphysicosis, psycho. Hang on.
Metempsychosis.
It's hard to read on the side. Seance.
That's down the bottom. I was reading the one down the bottom.
Oh, I didn't see it was highlighted. Okay, I don't need to turn my head. Okay, Art of Seance, Terrors of the Deep, Voodoo, Britannia, Gateways of the Spirit, What Lies Beyond the Veil, Mysteries of Spontaneous Combustion. Here we go.
This all sounds strangely familiar,
Oh,
but
God.
spontaneous human combustion can't be real, can it? Then again, sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct one.
All right, spontaneous human combustion is a highly controversial subject, but remains popular among scholars and aficionados of the occult and the unexplained. The term refers to death from fire originating without any apparent source of external ignition. The fire is believed to start within the body of the victim. I didn't know that actually, that it was within. I thought it was just on the outside. Anyway, the 1823 book, Medical Jurisprudence. Okay.
Jurisprudence.
I've never even heard of that word before. States the commonalities in recorded cases of spontaneous human combustion, including the following characteristics. The victims are chronic alcoholics. Check. They are elderly females. Check. The hands and feet usually fall off. Check. Although there was one missing hand. Maybe someone took the other hand. The fire was caused with very little damage to things around the body. A residue of greasy, fetid ashes is left behind. Oh, yeah. Most physicians and investigators strongly believe that spontaneous human combustion is a product of alcoholism.
Yeah, according to the dictionary, it's jurisprudence is the theory or philosophy of law, or it can just mean a legal system.
Oh. Yeah, Sahu would be really familiar with that. Okay, let's check out our book. Sweet. Didn't we... No, it's Jonas Usher. We didn't do that one. Let's go. See ya, toots.
I'll be going now.
May the spirits guide you to that which you seek.
Magazine. Usher and Price. I learned this week that I confuse Usher with Nelly all the time.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the law offices of Usher and Price. May I help
I don't know
you?
if I would ever know the difference between their songs.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator, and I'm looking for Jonas Usher.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but Mr. Usher is not seeing anyone today. If it's a matter of urgent legal importance, you could see Mr. Price.
Yeah, I was thinking that Usher wore the Band-Aid on his face. The white Band-Aid, but that's Nelly apparently. But then I thought, when I was having a discussion with my boss about it, that Nelly and Nelly Furtado were the same person, and that's definitely not a thing either.
Huh.
That pipe
She's
really
like,
clashes with the
I know
rest
one
of
of
the
her
decor
songs.
in here.
There was something about being free like a bird.
Oh, yeah. I know that song, yeah. I wonder, is Nelly Furtado American? It sounds like an American
Oh yeah,
surname.
I'm like a bird. I fly away, yay.
Seems like they've got some kind of modern message delivery service in here. Of all the things to spend your money on.
Have you ever worked in a place that had the pneumatic tubes before?
Oh. No, I was sort of like seeing them in movies and stuff, but I've never seen a real life one.
Yeah, so when I worked at Safeway, sometimes I'd have to fill in as a cashier because, like, I was mainly the trolley boy / grocery dude. But you know, when the people at the front would swamped, I would fill in, and you'd have to count the till, and the money would go into a capsule and get sucked up into payroll office or into
Okay.
the thing, yeah, accounting.
That makes sense there. Otherwise, I think in most cases they're impractical. Because often portrayed as sending messages, but I think they're practical for that. But I think most of the thing is, yeah, probably the cashier. I think it's mostly banks for, usually getting money out of there really quickly and to a place that's more secure.
Definitely more secure because you can't really. It eliminates the chance of being robbed, I guess.
The plaque says it's a portrait of Thomas Usher. Looks like a real go-getter.
Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes?
If I may ask, what is the reason for Mr. Usher's refusal to see anyone today?
He has a rather important trial starting tomorrow and doesn't want to run the risk of falling ill.
Falling ill?
And Mr. Usher is very particular about his health. Very particular.
I see.
We'll take the spruce moose.
Might it be possible to relay a message to Mr. Usher?
Yes, you can leave a message or calling card with me, and I'll make sure Mr. Usher gets it.
Perhaps Mr. Usher will see me when he sees this.
Oh, what's that?
A letter from Mr. Usher to his client, Desiree Lathan.
What? That's private correspondence. How did you get that?
It was evidence I found at a crime scene.
And how is it relevant?
The crime scene in question was Miss Lathan's own bedroom, where she was found burned to death.
That's quite a claim, Mr. Fordham. I can assure you that Mr. Usher deals primarily with facts. Right now, the only fact this letter proves to me is that you somehow rummaged through Miss Lathan's possessions and acquired it.
He does have a point. We'll need something a bit more persuasive.
I actually don't have anything to show.
Right. Please stop wasting my time then. I'm very busy.
Imagine if someone said to you, "Stop wasting my time" in a professional setting like this.
I've had someone say that at work.
Really?
Yeah. It's when I was working at the game studio and I was new and junior, and I just remember one of the programmers going up to the lead artist, but he's not just the lead artist, he's one of the 3 co-founders, so he had a financial investment in it, and program went up for something, and I just remember, I don't know what it was about, but just that they were working on the same thing. It was like a Sims Pets, which was like a Nintendogs clone, was the idea of it, because Nintendogs had just come out.
Mm.
And I just remember him screaming, yelling out, "Don't waste my fucking time!" And I was scared of that guy for most of the time. After that I was there.
Crazy.
Sir, it is of the utmost importance that I speak with Mr. Usher.
And as I said, he isn't taking visitors today.
But it's in regards to his client, Desiree Lathan. Or should I say, former client.
Miss Lathan found another attorney?
No, I'm sorry to be the one to have to inform you, but she's dead.
Dead? I had no idea.
Other than I
No?
just told
It
you.
was in today's newspaper.
I haven't read it yet. Mr. Usher forbids it in the office.
But surely he's read it. Just because he forbids you reading the paper in the office.
No, I mean he forbids the presence of newspapers in the office. He fears they bring in outside germs.
Day
I
dirt,
see.
as Rob puts
In
it.
any case, if what you say is true, I'll need some sort of proof.
I suppose just bringing in a copy of the newspaper is out of the question then. We'll have to find
Sorry to hear
way.
that, Psyche.
Yeah,
That would suck.
that's dog ass for sure.
I appreciate your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Oh, okay, we can go to the cop shop.
Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
Have a moment to go over my current case?
I'm afraid you're on your own this time, Fordham. The walls have ears around here. If they find out I'm helping you, it won't end well for either of us.
Understood.
I'll still be here when you've solved it, though.
That's it for now.
I remember to
Better get
tell
back to it then.
Copton that like report to Upton and declare Desiree's death as can't do that yet, I guess. Suitable
I
container.
think that would be early anyway. I think that would be getting out early. That would be the equivalent of like that first case where the boyfriend was accused. We knew he definitely wasn't. That'd be the equivalent of that, where we're just punching out early.
We need. Oh yeah, supper club. Oh, we've been here. We saw this lovely hairdo. Oh, the tankard could carry the ash.
Well, if no one's cleaned up, you might as well do them the favor.
Yes. What was the thing? It was investigate the supper club. We did. Let's talk to old mate again.
Miss Robineau?
Oh, it's you again. Have you come to ask me more questions?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind.
No. Be my guest.
Native real gorilla chest.
Is the name Peter Andrews familiar to you?
Peter Andrews? Is he still around?
I'd be able to tell you that if you told me who he is.
He's desperate. That's who he is. A lovesick fool who is obsessed with Desi. Sent her love letters
Oh, that's
all
right.
of the
Yeah,
time.
we read those love
Well, you know
letters.
where I can find him.
Why would you want to?
Because I want to question him about Miss Lathan's death.
I suppose that makes some sense. All I remember Desi telling me is that he worked at the Bank of Vespuccia, a clerk or some such. Imagine.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Okay.
Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to your drink.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Yeah, let's go collect the ashes first.
Nothing new to ask him about right now.
I'm afraid I need to have another look inside Miss Lathan's room, Officer Kane.
All right, but please be quick about it.
Oh, Miles, really? You're going to carry the ashes around in a pewter mug?
Yeah.
It's vital to the investigation that we find out exactly what happened to the body. If anyone can tell us for certain, it's Dr. Edwards.
Fair enough. I suppose this isn't the most unpleasant thing you've carried around before. Remember that time we had to go looking for that murder victim's missing head?
I'd really rather not, actually.
Or remember the soiled tissue and broken sword? Or the panties? Oh, Jaws.
Ugh.
There they are.
The smell from the bedroom is getting worse. I don't know how much longer I could stand it.
Okay, Dr. Edwards. Who's Dr. Edwards? Have we met him yet? I don't know if we have, actually.
Dear Lord, what is that smell? Mr. Fordham.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Dupre, fancy running into you here.
I told you I worked at the bank. I can't believe you have the nerve to show your face here after what you did to Juliet.
I did nothing to Juliet.
Oh,
The evidence
yeah.
indicated her guilt.
Well, the evidence was clearly wrong. You've ruined her life
Uh-oh.
as well as my family's.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Mr. Dupre, but I'm
So
afraid
for the
what's
bad
done
case
is
or the
done.
good case?
That may
Bad.
be, but I take some solace in knowing
There's a
I
guy in the
can
hunting
do my
lodge.
part to make your life more difficult. Leave now, Mr. Fordham. You are not welcome here.
I am fully within my rights to be here. I've done nothing wrong.
Perhaps the police will be able to sort that out once I sound the alarm.
Wow.
Wouldn't.
Try me.
Best not to see if he's bluffing, Miles.
Fine. Good day to you, Mr. Dupre.
Oh, that's killed our lead because our... Wow. That's kind of cool in a way, but kind of... Damn.
Honey, I'm home.
It's always nice to see you walk through that door. Miles, did you leave the gas on again?
No, dear. I've just got some pungent evidence on my person.
Well, get it out of here before you stink up the place. My plants can only do so much.
Addie?
What is it,
They've
Miles?
already ruined the plans.
Ooh.
Addie, please know that I'm deeply sorry for my behavior last night. I'll do everything I can to make it up to you. Would you like me to get some new begonias?
I don't need pretty flowers or pretty words, Miles. I just want things to go back to how they were. That's really all the apology I require.
You're looking especially lovely today, Addie.
Miles, don't flirt with me.
Oh,
Not
you.
now.
I wouldn't push my luck with her, Miles. She hasn't completely forgiven you.
You've got an appointment with Charlotte Robineau later today, don't you?
Are you using your detecting skills on me now?
I spoke with her at the Gascon Supper Club, and she mentioned you. Turns out she knew Desiree Lathan.
Makes sense. That social circle is tiny.
She wasn't very forthcoming, though. Do you think you might try and persuade her to talk?
Persuasion shouldn't be necessary. She usually just sits in the chair and starts gossiping up a storm. I think I know more about all the Gascon grand dames than anyone should.
That's good. That's very good.
Speaking of grand arms, have you ever heard how some Americans pronounce Notre Dame? Steve?
No, but I imagine it's just saying it normally, I guess.
Notre Dame.
Okay.
Brainsy, how you doing? I was thinking about you earlier. I saw that Major was streaming Rocksmith, and you went on. Hope you're doing well.
Right. These are the things I want you to ask her about.
Oh, here we go.
So you want me to take off about an inch, but keep enough for your curls?
Yes, that's right. You know how I like it, Adelaide.
Any new suitors
It's
catch
weird
your
to-
eye?
We have to be the wife. Do we have this? We haven't had this before, have we?
No, not to be the wife, no.
Has anyone special caught your eye recently?
Ha! No, I think I'm getting too old for most of the young pups I see around these days. Besides, marriage has proved to be more trouble than it's worth. I'm finished with that whole game. Although there was one fellow who came into the supper club today. Pity he was only interested in asking questions.
Oh?
Oh, jeez.
Yes, the dark brooding type. Sleepless nights etched all over his face. Still handsome, though. I invited him to join me for a drink, but
Sleeps is
he
nice touched over his
refused.
face.
Said it was too
Just
early
pissed on
to
a
be
plant in his
drinking.
demeanor.
Is that so?
Life is too short to be so uptight.
Probably for the best he didn't join you for that drink then. How was the Grand Dame's ball? Was your hairdo a hit?
Oh, it was. All those other old biddies were practically fainting with jealousy.
With her mullet
Truth
of
be
nine
told,
tails.
though, the evening
Mm.
was rather dull. Just the regular crowd of wags and gossips. You know, sometimes I envy people like you, Adelaide.
People
Yeah,
like
the
me.
back of her head reminded me
Yes,
of
you know,
like
ordinary people. Being
either
a member of
Cthulhu
high
or
society
Zoidberg
can be so
from
draining.
Futurama.
One
It's like a
quite
little
lacks
mouth
a
thing.
sense of purpose, of ordinary, honest usefulness that comes from a good day's labor.
Have you done much of that sort of labor yourself, madam?
What? No, of course not. But I imagine it must be quite good for the soul, quite grounding. Just being what you are. No airs or pretense. Oh, you've missed a bit there on the left ear. Do be sure it comes out even.
Oh.
Certainly, madam.
Steve, can you give me your best Zoidberg impression?
Hang on. I've actually seen that Billy West, listen to Billy West say what he went behind his voice, but I don't think of something to say. What you're saying is, hang on. What you're saying is there's human combustion.
Nice.
I was reading in the paper this morning about what happened with Desiree Lathan. Did you hear about that?
Oh, such a tragedy. Poor Desi. We hadn't talked in a long time, but how terrible to think of her dying in such a horrible way.
My condolences.
Thank you, dear.
Oh, I see
But yeah,
ramen
Billy
at the
West
door.
said-
One moment.
I guess I'll go. So Billy West said that because he saw Zoidberg, he saw an initial picture of him and he had that stuff in his mouth, like at the front of his mouth. So he said, might do, and as a comedian, he based it after, because it's like a guy that's like, hello, mama, this is your son. And he's like marble mouthed, basically, is the way Billy West put it. So he said he saw that stuff in front of his mouth and he goes, I'm going to make this guy a marble mouth guy because of the mouth area. And he goes, and then I threw in a bit of, because he goes, every thing I have, I always throw in a bit of, to at least one of the characters, I always throw a bit of Three Stooges in. So that's why it's the marble mouth talk of the comedian with a bit of like, woo, like that kind of Three Stooges stuff.
Like the same noise when Homer runs in circles on the floor in the carpet.
Yeah. And he's doing the AC/DC thing.
Did you and Desiree used to be friends?
Oh, we were like sisters at one point.
What happened?
What else? A man got involved.
You were both after the same man?
Hello.
No, quite the contrary. We both enjoyed being unattached and had vowed to keep it that way. The Spinster Sisters, we used to call ourselves. But I fell for a man a few years ago.
Not the
We
Sphincter
got
Sisters?
married, and Desiree stopped speaking to me.
Not the Sister
That's
Sisters.
a shame.
Yes, especially considering the marriage only lasted a few brief months. I lost both my husband and my best friend. I'm sure there's a lesson to be learned in that.
I heard someone mention that Desiree had her portrait painted recently.
Yes, I heard that too. I think it was Caroline who told me. Yes, that was it, Caroline. She was looking for a portrait artist and told me Desiree had found one. Roger DeVay, I think she said his name was.
Oh.
Roger DeVay? Sounds mysterious. Who is he?
Well, I don't know about mysterious. He's just an artist. Not a very good one either, from what I hear.
He didn't do a good job on the portrait?
Oh, no, he did fine. I just meant he hasn't really taken off. His paintings aren't worth very much, you see. But Desiree took a liking to him very quickly. Even went as far as giving him an extra key to her apartment. If there was anything more going on between them, I couldn't say. But she could have done a lot better, if you ask me. I mean, he's barely even an artist now. I heard he took a teaching position at the university. Now, who would want their likeness immortalized by a lecturer?
I see. Well, I hope he makes it in the world someday.
Miracles may happen.
I have to say, your musical selection for today is lovely.
It's nice to know someone like you can appreciate some of the finer points of culture. In case you were wondering, the piece is the Fourth Symphony by a composer named Theophilus von Wagner.
Yes, it's refreshing to hear the Fourth Symphony for a change. Most people know von Wagner for his Fifth Symphony or his Lute Concerto in D minor.
Oh, you know von Wagner?
Although I admit he isn't one of my favorite Baroque composers, I can appreciate what he brought to the movement. I'm more in favor of Scaravaldi. His development of the Concerto Grosso makes for a much richer musical tapestry. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, well, perhaps so.
Do you have any favorites among Scaravaldi's works?
His First Symphony is quite riveting.
Do you mean his Concerto for Mandolin? He didn't have a First Symphony as such.
Well, yes. That's what I meant.
Poser.
As much as I enjoy chatting, perhaps you should concentrate on what you're doing, dear.
Gave Charlotte a music lesson.
That's not like the
Quite
trope
chilly out
of
today, isn't it?
Yes. A good
video,
day
even though
for
that's
spending
very
indoors.
Probably
not really
means we'll be
unprofessional,
getting
but
an
it's
early
like not the
winter.
nicest thing
It's
to
a
do with a
good thing I
client
bought
because
a
it'll make
new
them
set of coats then.
wouldn't go down like that in real life. In real life, they would just resent you for that.
What are you doing, Rams?
Good. I think that's all finished.
Thank you, Adelaide. It was a pleasure, as always.
We should have cut off one of her
Likewise,
tails.
Miss Robino. I'll see you next week.
Whoops, slipped.
And she didn't tip
Yeah,
very
make it
well
look like
either.
I'm sorry, dear. She sounds positively
like a gun
dreadful.
bit.
No more than the other Gascon Grand Dames. I just hope you managed to get something useful from that.
Didn't tip very well. Have Dr. Edwards the coroner. How do we speak to Dr. Edwards? Maybe at the police station.
Enjoy your reading. I'll be back soon.
Take care of yourself out there.
Thank you. There you go, traded ramen. Lisa's come bring in the goods. I've got an escargot, not the snail variety.
I thought you meant the snail. I thought, it's like, are you having snails for lunch?
Escargot. And then a little baked treat. Lovely. All right. How are we going to speak to... Coroners are usually at the police station. Is that the way they work?
I thought they were at a hospital, weren't they? Or like a mortuary.
Did you step in something out there, Fordham?
Private investigation is a dirty job, Upton. You know that. Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
That's what she said. Ah, mortuary access.
Would
There
it
we
be
go.
possible for me to access the mortuary?
The mortuary? What for?
I'd like to consult with Dr. Edwards.
All right, but be careful. Make sure you don't let Snelling see you back there.
That's it for now.
Better get back to it then.
Ah, cool. There we go. Oh!
Dr. Edwards' lab was always a fascinating place to learn about death. A bit less so now that I'm quite the expert.
Oh, did I miss cleaning up some bit of that last corpse? Oh, Fordham, what brings you down here?
Hello, Edwards. I was wondering if I could pick your brain.
Yes, of course. There's one in a jar over there, and I may have another one around here somewhere.
That coroner humor never gets old, does it?
Anyway, let me know what you want to discuss. This fellow's not going anywhere.
I don't mean to alarm you, Steve, and maybe Saki, you should cover your eyes, but I think I see a tallywhacker.
The brain is truly a
In the
fascinating
diagram.
organ. If only more people used it.
On the body.
That's his leg, isn't it? You thought he's got the biggest thong ever.
No, he's got his legs, but you can see his mons pubis there and a little coloured bit.
A fine example of well-developed deltoids, latissimus dorsi, and gluteus maxima.
I don't think so. I think they've drawn his leg too big, specifically so that it covers up everything.
I'm pretty sure I saw Edwards weighing his lunch on this once. Well, at least he died with a smile on his face. Sort of. Looks rather fresh. There's a plaque at the base of the jar that says H. Putnam.
H. Putnam. Is that somebody?
Assorted lab equipment for setting things on fire or causing explosions. You know, the perfect way to pass the time. I wonder if Edwards ever got around to fixing this typewriter. The letter E being out of alignment always made his reports a nightmare to read.
Hang on. Wasn't there... Oh, is it a TV show or is it this game? I can't remember. But there was something about typewriters with the letter being... Oh, I know what it is. It's Talented Mr. Ripley. Okay. The exact same thing about the E being misaligned. Weird.
I haven't seen that movie, but I've seen something where the E specifically was misaligned, and it was to do with the murder thing.
So weird.
Where it's like the person saw the note. Like the evidence is like, oh, this must have been on this typewriter because the E was out of joint, and it was part of the Sherlock Holmes type reveal at the end where he's going through all the clues.
Yeah, it must be a common trope.
It's important to keep your hands clean when dealing with dead bodies. After all, you never know where they've been. Until after the post-mortem exam, anyway.
Oh no, it was actually slightly different. It's weird that it's still the letter E, because that's like probably a thing where it's like murder mystery stuff. It's like any sort of thing like that. Like the fact that typewriters are not completely consistent, probably is general, but it's weird that it's the same letter. But actually, I think the one I'd seen, wasn't that it was misaligned. It was that a little bit, or the thing was misaligned such that the E wasn't perfect. Like there was a faded area of the E or missing area of the E, because the thing wasn't striking it completely center, or the thing was damaged, the little stamp thing, and the E's were like a little bit. It was like the bottom half was faded or something like that, or missing.
When I was in kindergarten, there was a typewriter, and this girl, Jill, was using it. And I remember pressing all the keys at once. And you know how they all hit at once and they jam sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
I did that and the
Just
hair
have
was
it.
in there.
Oh, shit.
I wonder what Jill's doing to this day. Bloody hell, that would have been 35
Maybe.
years ago. More.
Chilling off right now, maybe.
I feel sorry for the poor slob who has to clean that out. Seems to be empty for now. That's most definitely a good thing.
But yeah, I used to have a typewriter. But yeah, if you click, it doesn't really jam, but it's like, yeah, if you click multiple things, they stick together, but it just takes a flick of the finger to put them back.
Yeah.
Edwards keeps assorted bottles and specimens in there. Nothing too remarkable that I can see. I'd say being hooked up to that machine was the worst experience of my life, except I was already dead at the time. Imagine a giant mosquito sucking out all your blood and then replacing it with formaldehyde. Not very pleasant.
You did that to your dad's typewriters and he wasn't very happy? Yeah, that's also like when you use your dad's record player and start scratching records. Dads aren't
Can I jam more seriously? Because like the one I had, it didn't. There was nothing serious with when they jammed. It was just like they kind of stopped you from typing until you Looking them back, do they jam more seriously on other models?
Yeah, not sure.
This provides the room with just the right amount of heat, unlike the incinerators in the crematorium. Talk about overkill.
Touching CRTs because your finger oil would go in the glass. Is that the...
I remember when Edwards used to keep his collection of preserved reproductive organs on this shelf. He must be getting soft in his old age. Or perhaps that's exactly what happened to his collection.
I used to hate it at work when people would come by and say, "Oh yeah, you just need to click here or whatever," and then they would touch the screen and point where they're doing it on your monitor. It's like,
yeah. I think I had something. Was it yesterday or Friday, Wednesday when I was in, where someone touched someone else's laptop screen thinking it was a touch screen?
Yep.
Pardon me, Edwards.
Yes?
It's got Mr. Freeze goggles.
Those goggles, what the fuck? Is it just me or are those goggles drawn weirdly? Like it's a perspective thing, like some of the other things look slightly off.
It's not too bad. They maybe shifted to our left a little bit too
Shift to
much.
the left, yeah. Then who does that? But then also, that'd be uncomfortable because the thing's not.
It's not sitting on your occipital bone or whatever it is.
Yeah, the whole thing would feel weird. Like the band around would also feel weird. I would have thought if it's off by the side, like it'd be too tight on one side and too loose on the other. Like
it's the way he rolls, I guess.
I've got these human ashes from a crime scene.
Straight to the point. I knew I liked you for a reason, Fordham. Who do they belong to?
Desiree Lathan. She was a Gascon Grand Dame.
Oh, of course. I heard about that case. She was found burned in her home, wasn't she?
That's right.
I meant to go over there later today.
Well, then I suppose I've saved you the journey. Would you have a look at these?
Does this mean you're officially on the case?
Not as such. In fact, I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention I'd been here.
Ah, clandestine operation. Sneaking around under Snelling's nose.
I don't have much of a choice. I'm pretty much persona non grata around here these days.
Well, you're always welcome in my mortuary. Preferably while still breathing, of course. Anyway, I'll just take those ashes off your hands. I'm sure your social life will soon improve.
Yes, I was making quite the impression.
This is an interesting choice of container.
It was either that or carry them around in my bare hands.
Well, I'm a bit busy right now, but I should have something for you within the next couple of hours. But you do realize the information won't be exclusive to you. I'll have to pass it on to the detectives on the case.
Naturally. That just gives me more of an incentive to work quickly.
You know, another weird thing is this portrait here looks like it's almost taken from a photograph. It kind of looks realistic. Also, he doesn't have that weird lip thing, but
Yes, I think that none of them have it. Just like a few people.
this guy looks like
And
he's
it looks
drawn though. Like this is like just an artist drawing it. This feels like it was a photograph that was turned digital.
It looks a bit like Robert Beltran, who played Chakotay in Voyager.
Oh yeah. I watched a Voyager episode last night called Dreadnought. Do you remember that one?
Oh, is that with the smart missile?
Yep.
Yeah, that one's really good. What'd you think? Because I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's weird because it seems I'm tripping on my words. It seems like the episode is about to wrap up at like a third of the way through. Like where she turns it off and it's like, oh, job done. And
That was easy.
Back. Yeah, and then it keeps going. But at one stage, it's like, this episode feels fairly quick.
I also watched an episode where Tom Paris broke the limits of warp. He went past warp 10 and evolved as a human being, and then ended up having babies with Janeway.
So what do you think of that one? Because that's
it was okay. It was just weird that sort of brushed under the rug, that those two were like in cahoots having babies on a planet. They got turned back to human, and it's like nothing to see here. Like I don't know if it's ever brought up again, but yeah.
No, it isn't. But the rewatch I had of like the podcast script with the tractors, it's brought up constantly. It's like they have salamander children somewhere.
They do, yeah.
So or mentioning that's like, oh, it's like, oh, they're both like either that or when they're being talked about individually in some context, it's like, well, Tom Paris is technically a father, or Janeway is technically a mother. Yeah, let's reference that. But it was interesting with the because that's okay. So that episode is considered the worst episode in all of Star Trek.
Really?
It's always held up. Yeah. And going through the podcast, I think it's because it ends so badly, where it's just everything's reversed. I had this thing that I kind of don't like with Trek, where everything's reversed. Like, oh, we just turn you back into a human, and like multiple Trek things do that, where it's like someone because their DNA is turned into something else, and then it's just reversed. And it's like, yeah. But it does that. But yeah, it's the most revolved. But then when the podcast crew was going through it, it's like, okay, it's got a bad ending, but it's actually a decent episode. It's one of the funniest episodes, and it's also got grotesque body horror. It's good for that. Like it's like the tongue coming out, like if you stand back, the episode, the first 2/3 of the episode is actually pretty good. It's just the whiffs at the end and goes weird, but I think because the premise was clever, but they didn't know where to go with it. Like, what would the advanced human look like? But then the overall thing is like somehow our evolution ends with us just being salamanders in a pond. Like, how's that advanced?
Because that's kind of like where we came from in a sense.
Yeah.
So if anything, it should be the reverse of advanced.
Yeah. So that bit's weird, but the rest of the episode is really like one of the most enjoyable. The first 2/3, like both, like I said, horrific and also like a little bit of horror. It's one of the funniest when you look at like some of the individual gags in it. But then so that was an interesting thing with that episode. But yeah, that episode is by most Trek fans considered the worst. It's always brought up as the worst episode in all of Star Trek.
I really enjoyed. I think it was the episode before that one, or maybe after that one. I mentioned it last time in one of the streams, but it was the one with Brad Dourif playing the serial killer on board.
Oh yeah, those ones. Oh, I shouldn't have said those ones. It might come up later, but yeah, those ones are good. He's fantastic too in anything he's in.
Yeah, I think what was cool is, and I kind of like this, which might be counterintuitive to how much I hate those different universe. What do we call them? What the ones
Mirror
that
universe.
Mirror universe episodes. But I really liked the way, because for those that have never seen the episode, there's a serial killer on board. Tuvok uses a mind meld to try and see where he's coming from because he needs to know what the motive was, because for logic reasons he can't let it go. Anyway, what ends up happening is he ends up giving the serial killer some skills that the Vulcans have to be able to suppress their emotions and deal with his extreme violent bursts. But on the flip side, the violent bursts go across to him, so he's finding it really difficult to basically live with these violent thoughts. So in order to get rid of them, the Doctor has to get rid of the Vulcans' emotional guards. So you actually see Tuvok with a personality, like laughing and shouting and just being kind of like a loon in a sense. That was cool. I like to see him break, I guess.
Yeah.
But that was also another reverse episode too, where he went crazy, and then it's sort of like, oh yeah, and Tuvok's doing well as long as he keeps doing his meditations or whatever at the end.
Yeah, and it's also good, like, as much as it's having a good actor play Vulcan is sort of important, but then you sort of lose their ability to actually like act. Like, this acting is going to be very subtle, but and usually it's him being plain where he's a good actor. So I like those ones where he's able to just break out and like, because there's some problem that these Vulcan defenses aren't up, and you get to see him actually act really well.
There's three constants in Voyager so far that seems to be always the case. One, Tuvok always says sensors instead of like sensor like everyone else. It's specifically to him. He always says sensors.
Yeah, I think they might have mentioned, the podcast guys might have picked up on that too, or noticed that.
Yeah, there's that. There is every scene with B'Elanna has her having to give an estimate of time over something. So how long until this, B'Elanna? Oh, I can do it in 2 hours. Well, you have to do it in one. Like, that kind of thing happens all the time.
I think the first Trek was like that. Like, Scotty was also always having time estimates, and there's the episode in Next Generation where Scotty comes back and one of the engineers, Geordie, has to make an estimate, and he makes an estimate, and Scotty goes, No. You say half the time. No, you
Double the
say
time.
double the time it'll take, so that you're. How else will you be thought of as a miracle worker unless you overestimate?
And the final one is that the most dangerous place in the ship is deck 4. No matter what
really?
happens, the hull integrity of deck 4 is always fucked. So
That's the weak point.
yeah, it just always, like, whenever they sustain damage, it's like, shields at 20%, hull damage on deck 4. It's like, oh my god, these deck 4 people, they need to, like, hazard pay or something.
Yeah, I never noticed that. I didn't, and the podcast guys didn't either.
You probably will from now on if you rewatch.
But be happy to know. I don't know if it's a spoiler to say, but there's no mirror episodes in Voyager.
Oh, that's great.
There's one. There's one that starts off seeming like a mirror episode, but don't worry, it won't be a mirror episode. It's a very clever, and that episode is a very clever premise too. But it seems like a mirror episode when it starts.
Mm-hmm.
I found this piece of burned cloth at the crime scene. Could you take a look at it for me?
This is from the Lathan case?
It is, yes.
What do you need me to look at exactly?
It appears to have some oily residue on it.
Interesting. I'm afraid I have my hands full right now, but you can feel free to use my workbench if you'd like.
Oh, sweet.
To do what exactly?
Surely they taught you something about basic chemical analysis when you worked here.
Yes, well, I always let Bill handle the more technical aspects of our cases.
A real pity I'm not around to help you anymore, isn't it?
But I'll have a look and see if something comes back to me. Keeping busy down here, Edwards?
Oh, you know me. I've always got my hands in someone.
Edwards always did have
Hello.
a way with words.
This postmortem was just a formality, really. The victim died of a gunshot wound to the head. Last week, though, we had a real kicker. An old man was brought in, and though he appeared quite dead, I was told that he'd been in a trance for over half a year. Apparently, he was hypnotized right at the point of death, and somehow managed to remain alive in a fashion. In any case, when I began performing the exam, his entire body decayed into a putrefied mess within minutes.
What?
It was fascinating.
Should you really be giving me these details, Edwards?
Oh, hell, I don't mind telling you, Miles. It's not like you're going to go tell Snelling. Besides, you're the only one who's come to see me all week. Dead people make lousy conversationalists.
Hey, I take offense to that statement.
If he's saying that what he just said is true, that means there's supernatural stuff in this game?
Mm-hmm.
Like hypnotizing a body right just before they die to prolong the life, and then suddenly when it's unhypnotized, it just rots instantly? Weird.
So, Snelling got promoted to chief, did he?
Yes, not too long after you left. Personally, I think he took advantage of your situation to change things around here.
Was it really that much of a shock? Bill and I weren't exactly the most well-liked detectives on the force.
But you were respected. You two solved over 350 cases in 15 years. You were an institution.
Damn right we were. It's so easy for people to resent their more successful peers.
Ah, Edwards. Nice to know someone missed us. You didn't
It's like,
examine Bill
Hot
after he
Fuzz.
died, did you?
Ha! He wishes.
No, there was nothing inconclusive about his death. He died from impact after falling from the roof of a building.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Was there something else I should have looked into?
No, I was just curious.
As fond as I am of Edwards, it would have been a bit much for him to go poking around my insides.
Thanks. That's all I needed to know for the moment.
Anytime, Fordham.
The problem with being in a mortuary is it's hard to find the humor because it's not like I have a mortuary joke I could just tell.
All right, promise me, Steve, that you'll tell Psycho your prawn joke.
Okay.
Not on stream. Not on stream. Make it.
Oh, should I do it now?
No.
Should I not do it on stream?
Definitely not.
I could do it now.
No, we'll be banned for life. We'll go to prison even. Think of standard filth bag Steve, and then crank it up a notch. Alright, let's see. Where are we going now? Speak with the usher, report to Upton, have Edwards the coroner. Okay, so he's doing that. Speak to Roger at the uni. Is this the uni? No, this is the uni. Oh, hello. Some glutes for you.
I'm guessing it's locked, But it
I
probably only
told you that.
contains more art supplies we don't care about.
Have you ever thought about doing a nude model? Not you being the nude model, but you painting a nude model before?
Will be well no what's sometimes I've been intrigued when I see like something. I think it came up recently where it was like on someone's Instagram they had just like a nude modeling thing where it's but yeah I couldn't just because that's not I'm not a good drawer anyway, so if I did it it would just be perving. Like I can't
You wouldn't
draw
be able
well
to
enough
fake
to
it.
justify. Yeah.
Well, you
Well, it's
could
not
be.
just that, but it's like it's also like it's a legitimate step in someone's artistic training. And when I can barely draw anything, like I've still got the drawing ability of like a 10-year-old, so like why would I then try to learn how to draw the human form?
But that
when
way,
it's just
Steve, you could just call it abstract. That's all you need to.
yes. I don't think it's supposed to draw abstract in it. I think I've seen jokes based around that of someone drawing an abstract thing in a life drawing class.
Well, so much for modesty. Ooh, is it warm in here or is it just me?
Oh, that's right, because Bill's
I'd be the live model though.
Sorry.
I'd be the live model though.
Oh, would you?
I wouldn't mind doing that. Yeah.
You wouldn't, Psycho? You wouldn't go Starkers? Oh, do you even know Starkers? The term Starkers?
Have you seen that? Do you remember that?
Do you remember the what?
There's that sitcom, I forget what it's called, but it had like a pediatrician and he had like this southern secretary or nurse, either nurse or secretary.
No.
And he popped up on an episode of Golden Girls. There was like a crossover thing
Oh.
where like they had to look after a baby and he pops in. It's like, oh, it's him from the other series. Yeah, so he had like a to this show. I don't know if you may have not seen it, or maybe you just don't know, don't recognize it from my description. But I used to think it was nice as a kid. I don't know if it'll hold up, but I think I used to sort of like it as a kid. But yeah, it had this character that was just this womanizer, like, or just constantly hitting on women. So constantly hit on the nurse, I think. It's pretty much like a Quagmire sort of character before Quagmire even existed. But it's like something. There's a bit where they go to a live drawing class, and they're waiting for the model to appear, and then he comes in a robe and he undresses and he's pointing to the sky. So it's very much like that pose, except he's got one of his hands. He's pointing up to the ceiling, and then he goes, "Oh, sorry, ladies. I know it's rude to point." And it's one of the funniest. It's one of the most memorable jokes because it's like you have this sudden realization that. I guess the implication is he's hard and pointing at them.
This looks like Lucille Ball.
These aren't half bad. Nice to know the students aren't completely wasting their time.
Yeah, a little
here.
bit.
Excuse me.
Yes,
Are you Roger DeVay?
I am.
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I have some questions for you if you aren't too busy.
Will this take long? This isn't exactly the best time.
It shouldn't, no.
All right then, quickly.
Wardrobe is too dull. But isn't he semi-responsible for what your wardrobe looks like? Because presumably your parents bought most of your clothes.
Oh, so he's trying to do a good thing and got you something. Define gaudy. Like, what
Is
does
it like
it look
hot
like?
pink or something like that?
Do you know Desiree Lathan?
Desiree? Yes, of course I know her. What happened to her was just awful.
Indeed. My condolences, Mr. DeVay. What can you tell me about her?
She was a wonderful woman. Sharp, full of life, extremely witty. I only knew her for a short time, but I consider myself lucky to have had her as a friend.
How did you two meet?
We were introduced at a party and became fast friends. It's
Looks like he's
hard to
21.
believe she's really gone.
Mm. Oh, sparkly polka dots.
When he gave it to you, how did you deal with the situation?
Do you have any information regarding Desiree's death?
No, none at all. It came as a total shock. I heard she was burned to death. Oh, is that true?
He's got maybe
It
the
is.
worst
It's
case
really
of the lip
just
thing.
unthinkable.
Do you know of anyone who might have wished
It's
harm
like he's
upon
just
her?
come from the dentist
No.
and he's still got the
Everyone loved
padding in
her.
his mouth.
To think someone could be capable of doing that to her, it just makes me feel sick.
I wonder
Painted
if
Desiree's
the
portrait, is that right?
Yes, I finished it just a few months ago.
Do you often do commissioned work?
Sometimes, but this wasn't exactly a commission. More like a gift.
You mean you weren't paid for it?
No, I didn't do
Oh.
it for money. It was an honor just to paint her.
What if the oily
I see.
substance is
And did she like
oil
the
paint?
result?
Well, she had it hanging in her bedroom and not in her attic, so I assumed she liked it well enough.
How would you know
It
that?
was a rather nice portrait, I must admit.
Oh, so you've seen it?
Indeed, I have. Regrettably, I can't comment on the likeness, never having seen the subject in life.
Ah, yes. Well, she used to say that standing in front of it was like looking into a mirror. I tried my best to do her justice.
How does he know that she has it in her bedroom?
Mhm.
How long have you been teaching at this university?
About 4 years now.
And do you also earn money with your painting?
Not of late. I haven't sold a painting in some time. But my salary from the university is enough for the time being. Perhaps someday I'll be able to devote the proper focus to my painting.
I'll let you get back to your class.
Right.
What did we learn from that? Not much.
So do you think, like you said, that one other one looked a bit too much like a picture? Do you reckon they all? So I'm starting to think they're all real pictures that someone's then drawn over the top to make it look illustrated.
Yeah, I think some definitely are and some aren't. Specifically, that our main character doesn't look like a real photo of a person's, but some do. And then
Yeah,
you
or maybe
also
that
have
one's just been worked more. Like it started off as a real picture, but because it's the main character that's been worked on more, so it's looked a little bit different maybe than a real photo. But
Yeah.
I'm starting to think of that because I think they might be tracing over a real photo, but then they're getting that's where they're getting the border of the lips wrong. Like they're making lips too small or not.
Or what if it's the signature of the artist? Like that's what they
Yeah.
do. It's just give people big bottom lips.
Yeah, it's like the keen paintings with the big eyes, or other artists have like some sort of special feature, and he's putting his trademark of freakishly small lips.
Exactly. And I'm sure that you're not going to buy any of this artist's work.
Where dreams go to die.
Oh, the artist of the game.
Probably
Yeah.
best not to disturb his class if
Don't
you
wanna
have
be-
to ask about.
That might sound too mean, but probably not at the same.
That's fair.
All the tools an artist would ever need: brushes, pieces of canvas, paints. There's also several jars full of clear liquid. Interesting. Huh. This is linseed oil. It's used as a drying agent for oil paintings. It would be a good idea to take a sample of this, Miles, especially now that nobody's looking.
Nice. Luckily, I did that. That would have been a moment that you could get stuck because I clicked and it just this is just supplies, but I clicked it again.
All the tools and art and a handy supply.
Yeah, cool. Linseed oil. What can we use that on? Potentially, we could use it on the body. It sounds like Psycho, this music.
I'm afraid I need to have another.
All right. Nothing else of interest in there.
Can we use linseed oil?
It's a nice portrait of Miss Lathan. Too bad it was damaged by the fire. The area where the artist's signature should be has been singed and is unreadable. Too bad.
But the date is still legible. It's from this year.
We already know all that information, though, thankfully.
Nothing else of interest in there. I don't think Desiree will be able to give us a hand with this investigation.
Hey.
Bill?
What? I thought it was funny. This one's clean. Well, aside from the fact that the rest of the leg is burned off. There's a tattoo on her ankle. It says, "Dancing Through Life." Hate to break it to her, but that dance is over.
Speak to the... That's going to be difficult. Report to Upton. Can't do that. Dr. Edwards. Speak to Roger DeVay at the university. We've done that. I wonder why... Maybe we have to pass some time so he's not looking at the naked man. So then potentially we could... Let's have a look. We go back to the coroner and see if he's done. And we could also go speak to... In fact, let's go speak to...
I don't think there's really anything else worth asking him about right now.
Cool. All right.
The plaque says it's a portrait of Thomas Usher.
Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
Perhaps Mr. Usher will see me when he sees this.
Oh, what's that?
I always loved in the Foghorn Leghorn cartoons, the lady chicken that would always go, yes! Like, as a kid, that was the funniest shit known to man.
I actually don't have it.
I remember that well.
Right. Please stop wasting my time then. I'm very busy.
I appreciate your time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
The show I was trying to think of is Empty Nest. And funny enough, to verify it's the right one, it's like the show's mixed up of Empty Nest, Different Strokes. Those names all mixed together for me.
Family Matters and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Family Matters I can remember is the, what's the name one? Because I think I watched that most, but then the others just all sort of go together.
What's the one again? We talked about it last time, but I forget again already. The one with Gary
Yeah,
Coleman?
because I think we looked it up. I've already forgotten because they all... Was that Different Strokes?
Different, yeah, that was Different Strokes. Yeah.
I thought that Coleman was with Different Strokes.
But it's spelt weird too, right? It's like it's got an apostrophe in there.
Yeah, in the title.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And just to verify it's the show I was thinking of, I looked up an episode, a random episode on YouTube, and it's got Bearthur as Dorothy as a cameo. I think because I didn't know this as a kid, but it's a spin-off from Golden Girls. Like, we'll call it, the wiki called it a spin-off, but it's actually, I think it's more of an embedded pilot because he only shows up in one episode. But yeah, so there's a fair bit of crossover between the two. Like, he shows up in that one, and I think all the girls occasionally show up in Empty Nest.
I absolutely love that in Curb Your Enthusiasm, B. Arthur was Larry's mum.
Oh, really?
Yep. Hang on. Okay. Somehow we need to get this information to the lawyer. Adelaide, can you help us?
Addie?
What is it, Miles?
Adelaide. Celebrate.
Was Desiree Lathan a client of yours by any chance?
No, but plenty of the other grand dames used to gossip about her.
What sort of things would they say?
Usually they'd comment about how much she'd had to drink the night before. I got the impression she was quite the tippler. I hope you're not planning on following her example.
That would require me to burn to death in our bed.
Then I stand by my previous statement.
Speaking of tippler, I bought a bottle of whiskey last night because we were just going down to Liquorland because Lisa found there's a new gin and tonic that she wanted to try, or a gin that she wanted to try. Anyway, I was just perusing and I went to the whiskey bar a few weeks back and tried, it was like Jameson Black Barrel, which is like the sort of upper tier of that, and I tasted it and it was absolutely delicious.
Okay.
And at Liquorland, it's normally a $90 bottle, but it's $65, which is a pretty good discount. So I bought that.
Yeah.
Great.
Do you drink pure, like, spirits occasionally? Because I have that thing of, I thought you had the same where you sort of have a liquor cabinet full of alcoholic drinks because you don't drink spirits that much. Like, they kind of get given to you occasionally and they sort of accumulate.
Yeah, for sure, there is definitely some of that stuff, but I've been getting into a lot of whiskey drinking. I drink straight whiskey just because when we go into the office at work, on Fridays we usually go and at 4 o'clock we have a thing called Tools Down where nobody works and you can just socialize and stuff. So we normally
Right.
go to the whiskey bar and just try all the different whiskeys. And it's crazy because before that I would never have drank whiskey straight, but having done it in a professional setting where they give you drams and you choose, and you do it not just at home where you're just pouring yourself some stuff. You actually get a taste for it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's really good.
What have you been up to lately?
Nothing particularly exciting. My usual clients have been scheduling appointments, and I've been trying to get some new ones as well. In my free time, I've been catching up on my reading.
Anything good?
Yes, the conclusion to the dissembling mechanism was just published in Brentwell magazine last week.
What's that?
James Penstroke's latest serial. I wanted to read it to you, but you haven't been around much lately.
Perhaps I'll take a look now that I can actually concentrate again.
Yes, you could read it to me. I wouldn't mind hearing it again. It would certainly be a nicer way to spend your time than going out drinking.
A strange concept of having someone read something to you.
Yeah, that you've read before. That would be even weirder.
I'll let you get back to your book.
Damn. Let's go to the coroner then.
I'll see you
I
later.
used to do that.
Don't work yourself too hard, dear.
But not often. It wasn't like every night, but sometimes like... I remember one of the Jennings books, like Uncanny.
Oh, the Paul Jennings
short
books were
stories.
great.
Paul Jennings.
Yeah, all of them were good. Uncanny was good too. Yeah.
But I remember I also had an attempt to go through Neverending Story. I think we only got halfway through it.
Oh.
But she'd read that to me. Even like one stage we went to Bali with my aunt, her sister. And even in that trip, we're sort of reading from Neverending Story before going to bed.
Did you wake up screaming in the middle of the night, Falcor?
Nah. Although I did. So one stage I was biting my lip and I got like a really big hole on the inside.
Oh.
And while she was reading, I was sort of biting it. So it started bleeding heavily. But because I'm awake, I was just sort of like the course doesn't bleed out because it's like awake. So I'm sort of like still chewing it and swallowing it. But then I fell asleep with her reading to me. And because I'd fallen asleep, it suddenly pulled up and Mum was just halfway through reading this book, just saw this trickle of blood go down out of my mouth. And she said, as ridiculous as it sounds, I just thought, like, if someone shot him like through the window, like, because she goes, something in movies, like in movies, that's the movie language for someone's being shot is like they just start bleeding out of their mouths.
Totally. That's funny.
I think I've vague memories of like waking up to my mum and my aunt standing over me with like trying to figure out, like with paper in my mouth, trying to figure out what's going on.
Right, that's funny. Wasn't it? I think it was you. Correct me if I'm wrong because I forget. But didn't you also have a glass break in your mouth as a kid in a restaurant?
Yeah, I watched too much Alice in Wonderland. I tried to do a Mad Hatter.
Oh, so you actually deliberately bit into it and it...
Every bit into it, yeah.
Oh. There's something about biting into like cutlery and crockery and all that just gives me the willies. Like it just sends a shiver down my spine.
Yeah, that wasn't crockery, it was a glass.
Yeah.
It was like a, yeah.
Pardon me, Edwards.
Yes?
Please have finished.
Have you had a chance to look at those ashes I gave you?
Yes, I have.
Oh, good.
Unfortunately, there isn't much I can tell you. The victim burned to death at a very high temperature. These ashes are greasy and putrid because of liquefied fat from the body, which
Ooh.
burned like a candle. As to what caused her to burn, I cannot say without more evidence. I'm sorry, Miles.
It's quite all right, Edwards. I appreciate the information nonetheless.
Well, just so you don't go away empty-handed, have a copy of my report. Maybe it will be of some use.
Oh, we can give that to the lawyer. Okay, excellent.
Thanks. That's all I needed to know for the moment.
Anytime.
I forgot we can also use the workbench. He said we could. How long does it take to fly to Bali? About 5 hours from memory?
It's been ages since we got to do any type of chemical analysis.
Yeah, I
This
couldn't
was
remember,
planned.
but
Dr.
it's
Edwards,
not that
could you
long. Like,
remind me
because
what
it's
it is
pretty
I'm meant
close.
to be
It's
doing?
like,
Yes, of course. Go ahead and get as much of that oily
I remember when
residue from the cloth
traveling
into
to
the
America
petri
and
dish.
I was
Good.
talking,
Now add some of the chemical
Remember-
reagent in the red bottle to the dish.
I was talking to a random person on the street and they initially said like Bali, I guess, is our Hawaii. and
Oh,
they thought it was a weird statement, and I said, well, in the sense of like it's the closest place you can go that's still exotic, and they've gone, oh, with that logic, yeah, that actually
I
sounds
get
about right.
it's tropical and stuff like that, but there's definitely a world of difference for Bali to Hawaii in just, I guess, the
I
culture.
guess I'd also never been to Hawaii, but even though
Oh,
like Hawaii is culturally much different than the rest of America, but it's also similar in another way.
I like Hawaii a lot. We've got a like an unwritten rule that we go to Hawaii for every 10 years of our wedding. Like we did our honeymoon there, we did our 10 year there, so our 20 year will be there, and so forth.
Mhm.
That's a good sound effect. Well, that's not.
Aha! The oil turned orange.
Yes! The reagent has caused a chemical reaction and changed the oil's color. Isn't science fun?
Science!
But how does this help me?
I have some samples of the most common types of flammable oils on the shelf. Go ahead and add them to the test tubes.
I bet it's linseed oil.
Good. Now simply check each one with the reagent to see if you can find a match.
And if I don't find one?
Then I suggest going out and looking for more oil samples.
Might as well add the linseed oil now you got some.
Oh, nice. Orange?
Well, I'll be damned. We've got
Yes.
ourselves a match. I wonder if Edwards knows anything pertinent about this stuff.
There's like there's a
Happy Christmas.
lovely. Thanks, Scoob. There's a monster in Monster Hunter that Tongs and I fight called the Zhuwu, and we often make the gag of the Uwu. Oh, it is too. Easter is soon.
Pardon me, Edwards.
Yes?
What do you know about linseed oil?
It's an oil made from flaxseed that has many uses. Most commonly, it's used to dry things like varnish or oil paints. Some people even eat it for health benefits. I
What?
hear it goes well with a bit of quark.
And it's flammable?
As most oils are, yes. Where are you going with this?
The oily residue on that rag is linseed oil.
Fascinating.
But I found no trace of anything used to light a fire at the crime scene.
Uh-oh, he's getting that gleam in his eye.
Wait just a moment. Linseed oil. Of course! Anytime linseed oil is used, extreme caution must be taken to dry cure rags that may be soaked in it.
Eureka!
That's because when linseed oil dries and oxidizes, it releases heat.
Oh.
A pile of rags soaked in linseed oil in a confined space runs the risk of spontaneously combusting.
How long would this take exactly?
A few days, at least.
Interesting. It's a rather uncertain means of murder, but it's excellent for appearing accidental.
It's certainly not the most far-fetched conclusion you've ever come to.
Yeah, seems pretty promising.
Thanks. That's all I needed to know for the moment.
Anytime, Fordham.
Oh wow, Tongs, were you lurking to hear that conversation? Live nude model. Well, Steve wants to be the... Steve could be the nude model, but also draw himself while being up there.
Except the teacher would go, why is your penis 3 times bigger than it actually is?
Speaking of penis, I forgot to mention it, but we'll go back there. Other than that penis there. Oh. If we go back to the university, this kind of looked like a penis here, like it was just hanging out of his pants. Oh, let's save it in case we do something wrong.
Like, I guess you technically could, but the thing is, like, well, I guess what I know of live drawing classes is the idea is it's faster to learn how to draw someone nude because clothes cover up their form. So if you can draw someone nude, then it's easy to draw clothes on people because you already know what the form is underneath clothes. That's what I believe it is. If that's the case, then like, even though theoretically it could be an amateur, practically there's no reason to do it unless you're a decent drawer and you're fine-tuning or you're on the path of getting better from a certain point of skill. And that's also why I assume that abstract's probably allowed, but might be allowed, but wouldn't be appropriate because you're not actually learning what it's supposed to be there for. I don't know, that's the thing
not
that
to disturb his class if you've got nothing new to ask about.
Oh, we can go to Upton now. That's right. We've got that report. Not Upton. Usher Price. Secretary. Hello.
Begging your pardon, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
Perhaps Mr. Usher will see me when he sees this.
Oh, what's that?
A report from Dr. Malcolm Edwards, the city coroner, confirming Miss Lathan's untimely demise.
Let me see that. Oh my. Wait one moment, would you?
Sure. Oh, that's a good sound.
Martin, what is the meaning of this?
The gentleman who brought that is a private investigator. He's waiting outside to see you.
Send him in, then.
You heard him, Mr. Fordham. You may go inside and see Mr. Usher.
Yes.
Thank you kindly.
Oh, that looks a bit...
So, a private investigator, are you?
That's right. Miles Fordham is my name.
Jonas Usher, a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure's all mine.
We're going to do a scale from 1 to 10 with Tongs with that portrait.
Coil, as it were.
I'm sorry to say that is indeed the case.
Please come in, have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. I only ask that you kindly wash your hands in the basin first, and limit what you touch in here.
This one seems a bit on edge, doesn't he?
Yeah, what is it, Tongs? That artwork right there? This one here? I feel I could draw that pretty well. And if I can draw that, wow.
Thank you, Mr.
Is he
Fordham.
wooden
I
proposal,
appreciate
man?
your
Is that...
cooperation.
Oh, I think I know what those are. That's where it's like a bunch of wooden pieces with wires connecting them together.
Yeah. Exactly.
I didn't know that's what that was for. I thought it was just like a toy.
No, definitely used for posing.
Well, yeah, just being posing, yeah.
Is there anything more boring than books on law? Just reading the titles is making me drowsy. Stern-looking lady.
Ooh, look
Judging
at...
by how full these bottles are, Usher doesn't indulge much. What a waste.
Yeah, well, Tongs, not all of us can do it in our head, all right?
Usher seems to like keeping his guests at a distance.
I don't want to say anything too mean, but
Mr. Usher, I have some questions for you.
I just only had the thought of
I
like
have your
maybe these
answers.
artists could do with one of those to get perspective correct.
The artist in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this snorkel moustache. It's like Price from Call of Duty.
What can you tell me about Desiree Lathan?
She was a lovely woman. I'm saddened to hear of her
Can't even tell if he's
unfortunate
got the bad
How
lips or
long have
not.
you been her attorney?
She retained me some 10 years ago, I believe.
That's quite a long time.
Yes, I remember I had just gotten over a bout of melancholia and been able to work in nearly a month. I didn't think I'd make it out of that, but luckily things took a turn for the better. Miss Lathan came to see me, and I've served as her attorney ever since.
Would you say Miss Lathan is a wealthy woman?
Indeed I would. Her estate is worth a significant sum. Of course, you understand that this is confidential information, so I cannot tell you the exact amount.
Yes, of course. Mr. Usher, I've noticed from your rules and habits that you seem to have a particular aversion to germs. Why is that, if I may ask?
I've been ill most of my life, Mr. Fordham. I was a sickly child, and unfortunately my condition hasn't improved with age. It's a miracle I'm still alive. That's why I'm so careful about exposing myself to germs.
I see.
How's my color? Do I look pale to you?
Not particularly.
I saw myself in the mirror this morning and thought I looked a bit peaked. Also, my leg has been hurting more than usual, which has been cause for concern.
Nah, you've really done it, Miles.
Yes, well, moving on.
He sounds like Rick from Rick and Morty a little bit.
Can you think of anyone who may have wanted to harm Miss Latham?
No, I can't. What makes you think that someone actually killed her?
It seems the most plausible explanation.
Miss Latham was getting on in years. It's likely she may have developed a case of pneumonia. That's the most common killer of the elderly, you know. I had it when I was younger. Most unpleasant. Constant coughing, spitting up phlegm, rattling in the lungs. Thankfully, I made a full recovery.
But supposing that was the cause of death, how would it explain the fact that her body was completely burned?
She was a smoker. Perhaps she was having a cigarette when she died and dropped it on the bed, causing it to catch fire.
I found no cigarette butts at the crime scene.
We already know
I'm
how
merely
she caught her
offering my
lightly.
opinion, Mr. Fordham. You can take it or leave it.
I think we should leave it.
I found this letter in Miss Latham's bedroom, which mentions that she recently changed her will. Could you tell me a bit more about the circumstances surrounding this change?
That's not an uncommon occurrence. People change their wills all the time. Relatives and friends fall in and out of favor constantly.
Had Miss Latham made changes to her will previously?
No, this was the first time.
What change did she make exactly?
Just a change to her beneficiary. Nothing out of the ordinary.
And when did this change occur?
About 4 months ago, if I recall correctly. Yes, it was definitely in June, because I'd been in bed with a nasty stomach flu at the end of May.
Good gastro?
That was no fun, let me tell you. I think I lost nearly 6 pounds from the constant trips to the WC. Couldn't keep a thing down.
The water
whatever
closet.
did stay down.
Yeah,
soon
would you
came
say
out
the
other
initials?
End, if you get my meaning.
I'd say his meaning is regrettably
Or would you just say water
impossible to
closet?
avoid.
Or why didn't you just say the dunny? Or the loo? Or the
Or the
shitter?
shitter.
Yeah.
Or the thunderbox.
Yeah. The porcelain throne.
Who did Miss Latham name as her new beneficiary?
Mr. Fordham, please. You know I couldn't possibly tell you that. There is such a thing as attorney-client privilege.
I think that's old Australian though. That's not people don't usually say that. I was just trying to think of terms.
I heard Brad Shoemaker the other day say that someone was built like a brick shit house. And I thought that was an Australian term.
I thought that would be Australian too, yeah.
Yeah, but he literally said that. It was, yeah, maybe he heard it from an Australian, not sure.
Do you not find it suspicious, Mr. Usher, that Miss Latham died under such mysterious circumstances only 4 months after naming a new beneficiary? You said yourself she was wealthy. Does it not make sense that someone might have wanted her inheritance?
I suppose it's not entirely out of the question.
Right. So tell me the name of Miss Latham's beneficiary so I can determine if this was, in fact, a murder.
Very well. It was a man named
Oh!
Roger
Interesting.
DeVay. Do you know him?
His name's come up before in my investigation. Do you have his address?
Yes, it's 775 Pumblechook Place in Chumley.
That'll do nicely. Thank you, Mr. Usher.
Everything is pointing to old mate.
How long have you been practicing law, Mr. Usher?
Usher and Price has been operating since 1805. I took over from my father 15 years ago. The stress hasn't helped my heartburn, I can tell you that. Why, just last night I was tossing and turning because I couldn't stand the burning in my throat. That's why I've got these bags under my eyes, you know.
Ah, yes. And Mr. Price?
He's still here, although I think he'll probably be retiring soon as well. But the law firm has done well over the years, and I have a feeling it'll do even better in the years to come.
Oh? Why is that?
We're currently beginning a group litigation against Royal Maverick for the Lygia disaster. I'm confident that we'll recover quite a significant sum for the families of those killed. You weren't by chance affected by the disaster, were you?
Thankfully, I wasn't, no.
Shame. You could have joined the class action and done quite well when we win.
You know, I always thought we detectives made our living off human tragedy.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Usher.
The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Fordham.
Mm-hmm. I think we've got him dead to rights. Oh yeah, this is it. Alright, we better save it just in case shit goes south.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Could I ask you a few more questions?
Yes, I suppose so.
Is it true that Miss Lathan recently changed her will to make you her beneficiary?
Yes. You can imagine my surprise.
My understanding is she left you quite a significant sum.
I don't see how that's any of your business, but yes, she did. I'm very lucky. Oh, I see what you're getting at. You're thinking I killed her for her money. Is that it?
I never said anything of the sort, Mr. DeBay.
No, but I can see it in your eyes. Look, Desiree considered me the son she never had, and she was like my second mother. I would never, ever even think of doing something so horrid.
Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't.
I'll let you get back to your class.
Right.
I think that's it. I think we've got it. There's nothing else to report. There's no more mission objectives. Would you agree?
I think so.
All right.
It says small objectives just to make sure, but I think it's pretty much got him.
Report declared Desiree into spontaneous human combustion. Yeah. He's got motive. We've found evidence of the linseed oil.
But I guess it's not human combustion though, technically.
No, it's not, but...
Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
Let's wrap it.
I'm done with the Lathan case.
Oh? What have you got?
I mean, I guess we have to select this at least.
She was the unfortunate victim of spontaneous human combustion.
I beg your pardon?
There isn't a scientific explanation for it, but
What are you
she fits all
talking
the
about?
criteria. She was an elderly woman, she was known to drink excessively, and the way her body burnt is consistent with all previous accounts of spontaneous combustion. Add to that the fact that very little around her was damaged by the fire, and you've got a textbook case.
You know, I heard a few of the officers talking about a demon getting into her, but I had no idea it was an actual documented occurrence.
I think we're gonna
Well,
reload.
this is certainly
I've got
one of
an
the more
idea.
unusual explanations we've had, but I'll pass it along. Although I'm sorry you won't be able to gloat to Snelling that you solved the case before his detectives did.
I can find other means of amusement, I think.
Good work, Fordham. As usual, I'll send anything else your way as soon as I get it.
Concluded that she died of spontaneous human combustion.
Dearest,
I'm
I'm
not happy
back.
with that.
There you are. I was starting to get worried you wouldn't
No.
make it home in time.
In time?
Seems like maybe we
Time for
needed
what?
For
something
dinner
more
at
from
the
the
Rutherfords. I told you about it the
the
other
dude to be
night,
able to
don't you
accuse him.
remember?
I'm terribly sorry, dear. It must have slipped my mind.
How you haven't yet been presented a prize for Husband of the Year is...
There's still time.
Let me skip this. Ah!
Why not just...
Don't listen to any of this. Blah 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 blah.
Ah, hello.
If...
Careful. So, you're not listening.
Give me my options so I can.
You'd better find... Because... This...
That...
Yes, I should...
All right, we got an achievement for something we didn't even hear.
My...
We drunk again.
Don't...
You know what? We're gonna do something even easier. One moment. We're gonna just reboot the game rather than having to go through all that.
So it seems like we didn't get the choice to. We didn't even get the choice to like get drunk or not that night.
Don't know, because I didn't know what I selected. Dead to rights, load.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think what we
Yeah,
need
that
to
might be
do
it.
is go and speak to this young cop and let him know.
Nothing new to ask him
Ah,
about
yeah.
right now.
We know it's not. What are you doing, game?
You have to hand...
Okay. Let's maybe talk to the coroner again. Hang on. What was that? I saw a new icon. Oh, his house. We didn't go to his residence, of
Did
course.
Usher give us the wrong address? This should be
I don't have the stream anymore
775,
because
but
it
there's
closed.
no building here.
Yeah, you're right. All right, 1 second. You'll be able to catch what I just did on stream. Okay. You got that?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Hey, that's just like the one we had when I was a boy. Good old Rusty. He served us well. Yeah, those aren't half bad. Too bad they aren't finished. I wonder if they're going to be used to keep the fire going. Yeah, those aren't half bad. Too bad they aren't. By chum standards, that's practically a 4-poster.
I guess it is, yeah.
I used to draw funny pictures of rich people on walls too when I was a kid. Never did a lick of good, but it would always make me feel better.
Got some spare change.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Is this 775 Pumblechook Place?
Yeah, it would be if the building were still here.
Oh, I see. Might I ask you a few questions?
You can ask.
Okay.
Do you know Roger DeVay?
Know him? Of course I know him. He lives here with me.
Wow.
Does?
Well, whenever he decides to come home, anyway. Rest of the time, I suspect he finds a way to sleep at his job.
Sounds like he's a confidence
I
man.
do the same, except I can't stand the smell of the horses.
I suppose the university would have plenty of places for one to sleep.
Oh, so he works at the university, does he? Well, I suppose that makes sense with him always putting on airs the way he does. Probably best not to mention me to him. He gets real testy when anyone asks about his situation.
He said testy.
I'll keep that in mind. Tell me about Roger's artistic pursuits.
Well, not much to tell, really. He used to paint all the time when he had his studio in the building that used to be here. He was good at it, too. Shame nobody ever bought his paintings. All that's left now are those 2 unfinished ones against the back wall there. Well, he used the rest of his spare canvas to make the tent.
How did Roger feel about his paintings not selling?
Well, how do you think? Made him madder in the March air. Didn't do a very good job of hiding his displeasure either. Well, it's none around me. He always used to say he'd find some way or another to make the money he deserved.
Odd. He told me he was content with the salary he got from his teaching job.
That's a load of bunkum if I ever heard it. Truth is, old Roger's about as poor as Job's turkey. He'd do anything to make a quick crown.
Well, now, that's certainly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know a woman named Desiree Lathan?
Nah, I don't know many women. They're not too fond of my company.
Oh,
Well, I
why?
don't
You feel
understand
bad?
Why? I always try to be a perfect gentleman. Guess it just don't got the charm. I've asked Roger to give me a few pointers. He's a big hit with ladies, you know.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
He
where
no
Elvis went.
sooner looks at them than they're falling at his feet. Real
After Faith's
natural, that
death.
one. Never brings it back here, though. Always winds up staying with him, getting a free meal and a soft bed out of it. Ah, well, the bohemian lifestyle ain't for everyone.
I'm sure taking a lady
Maybe
back to
someday
your
my luck will change.
street hole.
I'm sure it will change the day he decides to take a bath.
What's your name, sir?
Me? I'm Herman. Herman Shaw.
How long have you been living here?
Oh, I've been here for ages. Since before the building got condemned and was torn down. They pretty much forced us out, you see, but a couple of us came back and set up here. Seemed like a good idea, and I had nowhere else to go. That's not so bad, except for when it rains. And I guess we'll have to bundle up a bit more when it gets cold. But other than that, it's like the place was still standing.
There's some of that classic chum ingenuity. Or maybe it's just delusion.
It's weird how doing a southern accent is so much easier than a standard American accent.
What happened to this place? Why was it condemned?
The building was old, in a pretty sad state, so the inspectors came by and said it was unfit for living. There was a whole lot of us here. Most were able to pick up and go, but a few of us stayed.
Why don't you go to a workhouse?
You wouldn't be asking if you'd ever been inside one. It's wall-to-wall people, children crying, sick folk coughing all over you.
Oh,
There's
couldn't handle
plenty of that out here, too.
Well, sure, but out here, there's freedom. Nobody telling you what to do except the odd copper. Not even many of them in this neighborhood. Besides, this is my home. Just 'cause it's missing a few walls don't mean I ought to abandon it.
This might be just a me thing, but let me know if you do it as well. If you're walking down the street and you see someone ahead of you that's coming towards you coughing without covering their mouth, do you cross the street?
Nah, if I notice it, I'll be a bit annoyed, but
Okay.
if they're that far away, I assume it's dissipated a bit, but yeah, it's a bit shitty.
You look somewhat familiar. Didn't I see you protesting outside the Harris construction yard?
Yeah, I was there. What of it?
Were you affected by the Ligeia
I
disaster?
think the Southern accent's probably easier to parody,
I
like
know
it's
was killed,
easy
if
to
that's what
imitate in
you
a parody
mean.
sense, but probably
So,
not
why
in
were
a
you
way that would
protesting the
trick someone who
construction of the
knows the
north?
accent.
That
Well,
Devons fella promised he'd buy us a meal.
it's
if
just
we
easy to
stood
do
the
a drawl.
crowd. And for a free meal, I'd do just about anything.
Oh.
I thank you for your time.
Why did he lick
Maybe
his lips
give
when he
us
said
a
that?
shilling or two for the trouble?
I'll consider it.
There's a thing that one of the guys on Red Letter Media went around on about that I never noticed and thought was funny is, yes, whenever they need to portray poor people in movies, they've always got a southern accent. And his example is in Eminem, the 8 Mile, the Eminem's mother, played by, I forget the actress's name, but she's got a southern drawl where it's like, damn it, where are we going to live? And it's like to portray that she's poor. And it's like, you live in a trailer in Detroit and you've got a southern accent. Like, that's so fucking wrong.
Do you remember you doing that voice just then reminded me, but I only ever watched this at Gran's place, but do you remember the Beverly Hillbillies?
Yeah, roughly. I don't think I remember a specific episode. I remember the show and the premise.
Yeah.
I think Eminem's mum hasn't moved. I think it's always been in Detroit, but
These aren't in such bad
so
shape,
theoretically, but
really.
in this
As far as
case, it's
the
like,
chum
no,
goes,
I
this is one of the
think it's
nicer
like very
endings.
strongly that she shouldn't have an accent. Other than, and it's obvious that most of the reason is I'm portraying someone who's poor and pathetic, so obviously I do a southern accent.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Could I ask you a few more questions?
Yes, I suppose so.
Is it true that Miss Lathan recently changed her will to make...
Yes. I don't... Oh.
I never...
No. Look, I would never...
Oh,
I've met your roommate, Herman.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Fordham. I have no roommates.
Really? You don't live at 775 Pumblechook Place, in a rather cozy hovel?
How dare you, sir? I've done nothing to deserve such insults. I would appreciate it if you took your leave of me now.
Herman wasn't kidding about this one being proud.
I said good day, sir.
Well, it's fitting that Mr. DeVay is an artist, because I think he's painted us a pretty clear picture of what happened to Ms. Lathan.
Yes, is it? No. Oh, yes. Now we've got it. Hell yeah. Does Lisa have more of a British accent or an Aussie one? Or does the British come out when she's with her family? It's kind of like a combination. It's kind of neither. She doesn't sound really Australian, doesn't sound really British, but she does say some British things like yogurt and things like that. Dance and branch, but then that could be confused with Adelaide and like South Australian accent, but it doesn't really come out. Her accent doesn't come out stronger when she's with her family, but her mum's used to, because her mum's Scottish, and so whenever she was on the phone to her brothers and sisters, it would crank the Scot to 11. Okay.
Got a moment, Upton?
Yes, but let's make this quick.
I'm done with the Lathan case.
Oh? What have you got?
Roger.
She was murdered by Roger DeVay, a professor of art at the university, in order to claim her inheritance. DeVay befriended Miss Lathan and even painted her portrait, but his failure to establish a name for himself and earn a living from his art was driving him mad. Miss Lathan cared for him as a son, and recently changed her will, naming Roger as her sole beneficiary. Roger knew of this and decided killing Miss Lathan was the best way to solve his financial troubles.
And how did he manage to do so?
Desiree had given him a key to her apartment. While she was out at the Grand Dame's ball, he entered and left a pile of rags soaked in linseed oil under her bed. She arrived home drunk and passed out, unaware that the rags were growing hotter by the minute. Eventually, the oil burst into flames, burning the rag pile as well as poor Miss Lathan.
How awful. Well, I'll certainly pass along the information. What an astounding series of events.
That's
Although
the
I'm
way
sorry
it
you won't be able to gloat to Snelling that you solved the case before his detectives did.
I can find other means of amusement, I think.
Good work, Fordham. As usual, I'll send anything else your way as soon as I get it.
Yes. Accuse Roger.
Roger DeVay?
Yes, what is it?
You're under arrest for the murder of Desiree Lathan.
Oh, I see.
Come with me. We need to ask you some questions at the station. And you up there, make yourself decent, would you?
You won't take me alive!
Hey, this is a private venue.
Dearest,
Thank
I'm
you,
back.
Copper.
There you are. I was starting to get worried you wouldn't make it home in time.
It's like that
Time
case
for what?
a few years ago where the cops
For
shot
dinner
someone at
the
a sex party
Rutherfords. I told you about it the other night, don't
in
you
Victoria.
remember?
This is in our
Terribly
city.
sorry, dear. It must have slipped my mind.
How you haven't yet been presented a prize for Husband of the Year is beyond me.
There's still time for you to get ready if you hurry.
Why don't we spend a nice quiet evening in together? I'd much prefer that.
We've had a quiet evening in every night for the past 3 weeks. I need to get out of the house.
Then go ahead without me. Please give Anne and Joseph my regrets.
So you're just going to sit here at home by yourself?
I'll probably just catch up on my reading or try and get some sleep. Maybe I'll get around to reading that story in Brentwell's.
All right, suit yourself. I shouldn't be home too late, but don't wait up.
What if
Have
she
a
gets
wonderful time,
pissed
my
and
love.
comes home and pisses on our flowers?
Yeah. There's a cutscene where she's just squatting over a power plant.
If only I were.
Careful what you wish for, Miles. You just might get it.
Seeing as I won't, I think another trip
Let's
to the
see.
Angels in order.
Oh, you're gonna break your word in addition to lying? That's bold.
Nonsense. I'll be home in no time. It'll just be a quick drink to calm my nerves and get you out of my hair.
Uh-oh.
I think I need a machete for that, Fordham.
Very funny.
Uh-oh.
So, that last case was really something. Classic example of murder for money. Such a shame. Perhaps with Roger in jail, Miss Lathan's riches will go to a more worthy cause, like feeding the poor. You're not listening to me, are you? Oh, right, you've had 2 drinks already. Fine, I'll just see myself out.
Copper for your thoughts, Miles?
Oh, I was just thinking about a story I read tonight in Brentwell magazine. It's called The Dissembling Mechanism. Are you familiar with it?
Afraid not. Brentwell isn't really my type of magazine.
It isn't mine either, but my wife suggested I read it, and it struck a bit of a chord.
Go on then. What's it about?
And then I said, Adelaide, I don't want to go out tonight. And then she went out, and here I am. Let's see. He's the greatest mind of his age. She's the greatest. Let's say that she.
The story concerns an inventor, a woman who's the greatest mind of the modern age. In this story, ethericity's been discovered, and the inventor understands and uses it in her work.
Ah, one of those fantastic speculative stories.
Anyway, this inventor spends her time creating mechanical wonders, the likes of which the world has never seen.
Ethericity. I think that's also in Avowed.
I think that's from an earlier stream of this game. Because we're talking about like his dark materials. But it's
Yeah.
like it swaps amber and electricity. Or amber and electric.
There's some weird thing in Avowed, is not Unavowed, but Avowed is the
Oh, Avowed, okay. I got it mixed up, yeah.
Yeah. Spouse, child, or sibling, Steve? Which one do you want? Someone has to
It's a
die.
child.
Okay.
The inventor has a son whom she loves dearly. One day, he meets a tragic end in a carriage accident. The inventor is devastated.
A miscarriage?
All too common in these types of stories.
Yes, well, as I mentioned before, the inventor is the greatest mind of the modern age. She spends weeks researching a way to bring him back. She toils for hours, forgetting to eat, neglecting her duties, forgetting her friends. Finally, she finds a way to repair his broken body with mechanical implants. Once that's done, she harnesses the power of ethericity and revives him from death.
Why would she go and do something like that?
Fueled by love? What do you think? Love or guilt? Regret? Guilt? Okay.
Because the inventor's obsession was fueled by guilt. She felt responsible for the death of her loved one, and would stop at nothing to make things right.
But why? She had nothing to do with the accident, did she?
Guilt is a strange emotion, Patrick. It can easily trump rationality, believe me. In any case, things don't go well. The inventor brings her son back, and at first he's confused, wild. With time and patience, she tries to ease him back into the world of the living. But gradually, she comes to realize that this person she's brought back isn't her son. Not as he was anymore.
Pet Cemetery.
When she understands what she's done, she flies into a fit of madness, and she kills both her creation and herself.
How tragic.
She also leaves behind a note which closes off the story. I can still recall the exact words. This dissembling mechanism hath not the vital breath of he whom I loved. It is not him. I have formed but a vain, mocking shadow of what is forever lost.
That's one hell of a story, Miles.
As I said, it resonated with me quite deeply.
Same here. I can tell you, I'm glad that ethericity crap hasn't been discovered, or else this sort of thing won't just be in stories. You mark my words.
Yes, I suppose that's one way of interpreting it. I should probably be getting home.
One last gin for the road?
Ah, hell, why not?
No! Stop drinking.
It's later than I thought. Addie must be asleep.
No, what have you done?
Miles, I thought you said you were staying in tonight. What happened to you?
Nothing. I went out for a bit and lost track of time.
Miles, you're dead drunk.
No, of course I'm not.
Don't you dare keep lying to me, Miles. It's obvious. I can smell it on you.
To keep
But I'm
drinking
not
to make
drunk.
up for
I only had
telling the bartender a
2,
boring story.
I think.
I don't care how many you had. You promised me this wouldn't happen again.
I didn't
Where
piss in your
exactly
flowers.
did you go tonight anyway?
I was at the Angel.
The Angel? But why would you go there?
I suppose I was just trying to relive the old days.
So why didn't you tell me you were going?
I don't know.
Miles, this has to stop. First it was that sleep medicine, now you've started to go out drinking yourself into a stupor after you explicitly promised me you wouldn't again. It's clear that you've been keeping something from me and using drugs and drink as a way to avoid dealing with it.
No, really, it's just...
No, Miles. I'm tired of the lies. I heard what you said when I came home from my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. God forbid Adelaide ever find out about something. I wanted to think I'd imagined it, so I let it go. But I've come to realize just how wrong I was.
Addie, please.
Enough. No more excuses, no more lying. I just want to hear the truth. What is it you're not telling me?
All right.
I can't tell you, Addie. I'm sorry, but if I do, you'll never believe me.
Do you know what I really don't believe, Miles? The fact that you think it necessary to lie to your own wife. Am I to believe that for all these years you've never felt you could trust me?
Of course not. It's just that this is different.
A lie is a lie, Miles. And the bottom fact is you've been lying to me for months. Perhaps I was too naive or too distracted to see what was really going on, but you finally opened my eyes. This can't go on. I refuse to let it go on.
What are you saying?
Get out, Miles. And don't come back until you're ready to tell me the truth.
Ooh.
Addie, you don't mean that.
We can go live
I
with
do
Herman.
mean it, Miles. I don't care where you spend the night, but it's not going to be here. If you ever decide you want to tell me what's going on, I'll listen. But until then, just go.
I'll tell you now. I want the bed. Wow.
Oh.
Who's that? Oh, is that Upton?
Take me away from all my troubles.
This is like a play when you have like an intermission scene.
So far away from all the worries in my life.
It sounds like the start of a modernish song.
Who in the ether is calling at this time of night? Oh, Miles! Please come in.
Just kick
I wanted
me
to go
out,
into
Upton.
wanted to go
so
into the
nice to
Touch
see
Me
you
song
outside
from
of
Rocky
work.
Horror.
Oh, I get a hug and a kiss?
I was feeling
Is that
done
how it
in.
works now?
Couldn't
Put up
win.
your rough and tough
I
attitude,
only gave her a
but
kiss
I know deep down
before.
you're really a kitten.
Oh, she wants a dickin'.
Upton, are you drunk?
No, of course not. I
Oh.
admit I like to have a glass of wine or 6 to unwind after work, but I can hold my own.
Well, I'm glad you're not, because I am.
Wait, what's going on? Is everything all right?
No, I'm afraid I've made a mess of things at home. Addie threw me out.
Oh, Miles. I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
Not as sorry as I am, believe me.
What happened?
It's really not worth getting into. Let's just say I need to figure some things out about my life.
Oh, Tongs.
Let's just.
Don't we all?
Can we get a Tongs filth bag, please, in the chat?
Constance, I hate to
Jesus.
impose, but
Of course you can stay here, Miles, as long as you need to.
Tongs is a filth bag.
I won't need
you.
much space. That chair in the corner should do nicely.
Are you sure? You won't be uncomfortable?
I've slept in worse places, believe me.
All right. Well, I should probably be getting to bed. Early morning tomorrow and all that.
Of course. Have a good night, Upton, and thank you
That
again
sucks.
for
We've
letting me
interrupted
stay.
their fun.
Not a problem. Good night.
It's like, oh, now I've got a person going over and he's going to sleep there, so now I have to go to bed. Whereas I was happy singing show tunes on my piano while drunk.
1 week later.
Election night. The perfect opportunity to switch out one rich swindler for another. Don't know why you're wasting your time. It's not as though the Prime Minister actually does anything. It's oddly quiet in here. Maybe my mustache drawing campaign had an effect after all.
Good evening, sir. Are you registered to vote?
Yes, I am. Here's my registration card.
We have to vote soon, Steve.
Very good,
Yeah.
Mr. Fordham. You've come at an excellent time. Go ahead and step inside a booth. Take as long as you need.
Thank you, young man.
Do everything we can so Peter Dutton doesn't get in.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Go to another suburb because the polling booth is has the capacity for 1/10 of the population around it. My local polling booth, so I have to go to another suburb to vote in whatever the term is for the voting for another suburb.
depends on when we do it, but if you come over, we can all go vote together near me. It's probably going to be quieter, potentially.
Yeah, I suppose.
Sweet. Well, let us call it there. We have solved the case. We did a fantastic job at proving that the homeless painter was in it for the money, willing to kill and do spontaneous human combustion.
And it must have been him because we had the cutscene where he got arrested. Yeah. So I reckon we got the right guy.
True. Did we get a cutscene for the lady when we? Maybe we didn't.
Yeah, well, the first one we didn't. That's because we got it. I guess because I think we got it slightly wrong.
Yeah.
The next successful one, she was at the train station and the cop came for her while she had the baby.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure. Alrighty, well, let's quickly see who is on. Ba-ba-ba. You know what? Let's send you guys across to Anxious Birdie. She's playing that co-op drug dealing game. Schedule 1 or Schedule I.
And I'm not saying to rate them, but it's just an interesting that I just looked over and Dan and Kayla are playing Split Fiction.
Yeah, definitely don't want to see that. Since Robert Raleigh and I haven't finished it yet. All right, locking you guys in the raid cannon. Of course, make sure you do something for yourself this weekend. Get yourself a nice coffee, some tacos. Get some fish tacos in you. Delicious. Alrighty, we'll send you across and we will catch you on the flip side. Toodaloo.
Everyone.